Good morning. Barry Bryson here. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. We're continuing our study of Ecclesiastes, and we're in chapter 1. We're going to read verses 4 through 11 today. Let's remind ourselves Solomon has assembled us together because he has something to say. He is conducting this experiment based upon a hypothesis, and the hypothesis is that everything here under the sun is pointless. It's empty. It's just emptiness. But since he's a man with power, resources, and wisdom, he's going to use his life as an experiment, as an investigation to see what should we be doing here in this life under the sun. Let's not forget that this experiment is closed. And the fact that he's describing a closed loop is repeated in a variety of places in the book, and he'll do that here. The language of the book of Ecclesiastes is just unparalleled in its beauty. As bleak as it is at times, there's so much light in the book, so many realizations he makes along the way. But there's just light in the beauty of it, just the beauty of the language. I know it's a melancholy beauty, but that's the best kind, I think. It's not unicorns and cupcakes and pony parties. I mean, it's a beauty based upon life as it actually exists. And I just, well, let me stop talking and let him speak to us. Ecclesiastes 1, 4 through 11. A generation goes and a generation comes, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun goes down and hastens to the place where it rises. The wind blows to the south and goes around to the north, and around goes the wind, and on its circuits the wind returns. All streams run to the sea, but the sea is not full. To the place where the streams flow, there they flow again. All things are full of weariness. A man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which it is said, look, this is new? It has already been in the ages before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of later things yet to be among those who come after. It's just it's such beautiful language, and it, as the scriptures do, it survives translation. The beauty of the language survives translation. It's just as pretty in English as it is in French, as it is in Hebrew. It's just beautiful. The language is just beautiful, and it's a melancholy beauty, as we said before, and he is expanding upon his hypothesis. He said everything is zero, and he's telling us why in this beautiful, beautiful poem. He's also reiterating that he's talking about a closed loop. He's describing a closed loop. We are within a closed loop. The earth spins on its axis and continually goes round and round, and the circular nature of time is going to truly inform this book. More so in chapter 3, in another beautiful poem, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. The circular nature of time. And so we're living in a closed loop, and he uses the winds. And it's interesting that he understands, that the circuitry of the globe and the way the winds circulate around the globe. It wasn't Columbus who first understood that we live on an oblate spheroid. And he talks about the water cycle as well, being another loop, another closed loop, and he's describing human existence as a closed loop, and then he indicts human behavior inside that closed loop. We're making a zero, we're making a circle. Now, he didn't have the number zero. The number zero wouldn't be available to humanity for another 2,500 years. It would enter our consciousess through the Arabic numbering system. In fact, I've written down the man who first introduced zero. It's Muhammad Ibn al-Qaw. I didn't spell his name correctly. But anyway, I'm sorry, I can't read my own writing. But 773 AD is the first written evidence that we have of the number 0 being used as a number, as a symbol of nothing. But he really is describing a 0, a circle. Luff, the egg, the 0 in tennis. The 0, the circle, and nothing in the circle, but the circle being unrelenting. And he indicts humanity inside the circle. We don't listen, we don't see, and we're bored with everything, and we don't remember, and yet we know that there's nothing new, and we don't appreciate, we just don't. And so he's indicting humanity inside the circle. That's the thing he's trying to remedy, is that now that we're inside this circle, this closed loop of existence on earth, what should we be doing? And he's going to describe in the next verses, what he's going to be about in this experiment. Well, thank you for joining me for verses 4 through 11 of chapter 1. I hope you continue to read this book and just love this book. You really have to spend time with this book and let its words seep into your bones and seep into your consciousness. The Word is living and active, Hebrews 4:12, and I believe that to be absolutely true. And the Spirit has His own work in the Word. And I think the best thing we can do is expose ourselves to it and just ingest it through our ears, through our eyes, through our minds, through our hearts, and let it have its work. You won't find many things written as beautifully as the book of Ecclesiastes. We'll pick up with verse 12 next time. Thank you for joining me for 5 good minutes.